I got to turn the notification on, right? On a serious note, EA Sports, NCAA football and basketball games, they first entered the market in 1998. So that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And they developed a huge following. So what happened back then, EA Sports struck a licensing deal with the NCAA, which allowed them to release these video games featuring real-life players.
Right.
The problem was, it has been, these players were not getting paid. And then we go back to the old Ed O'Bannon lawsuits, which surfaced. He and others sued the NCAA and EA for refusing to compensate him and others.
Right.
That case in 2013 ruled that it was illegal for EA to produce a game using players without paying them, but the NCAA still refused to amend the NIL rules and withdrew its support for all the games. So now we move forward, and when the NCAA, I think it was February of 21, said, okay, we are going to allow NIL. And, of course, we all know what name, image, likeness.
Yes.
So February of 2 years ago, EA Sports confirmed the return of the college football game. And it's going to be the 2024. And the brand is going to work with a collegiate licensing company. Now, they're an college sports marketing arm called Learfield. And many of you that are in the industry will know who Learfield is. And they needed to do this because of the NIL deals.
Right.
So what they're trying to figure out right now, because there's two problems, two questions. How much do you pay these athletes? What do they deserve? And who gets to represent them? That seems to be the bigger part of it, because right now it looks as though EA is going to offer a one-time payment of about $500 per player, no royalties. Typically, these games, there's royalties. Right. That's where they make their money, on the royalties. Now, the schools are going to receive up to 10% of revenue, so they're going to get some of the revenue as well, which I think is quite interesting. But I guess the players don't, they don't have. It's no surprise to the athletes are going to get an unfair deal here.
Right, sure. They always have.
But the fact they're getting something, is that still that still good? Because unlike professionals, they don't have a union.
No.
They have no one to look out for them. But there's all these third parties that are trying to get their fingers in, because everybody wants a piece of this NIL. So I'm like looking at it, I don't know where this is going to go, because this controversy is getting big, and you got all these advocacy groups that are starting to get involved in this and saying this is going to really hurt or help the future of college sports. And I'm anxious to see what will come out of this on behalf of the players. Who's going to end up representing these players, these athletes? Who's going to do the deals? And is the starting quarterback for USC make the same as the third string, lineman for Ohio University?
That's on the EA Sports.
But, yes, but don't you have to be a individual in the game? In other words, your likeness in that game.
Yeah.
So if you're the third lineman for Ohio University, you're most likely not in the game.
All right. So let me back up and say if it's the starter, the quarterback, the Ohio quarterback.
3 minutes.
Any of the 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense.
Nobody's going to play the backups. They're going to play all stars.
All stars.
So Caleb Williams versus.
But who's to say? I don't know the game, and maybe Jackson put a headset on. And I've never played the game, but if you can make roster moves in the game, can you make a roster move?
No, you can't. No.
So it's the 11 guys you have, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. It's just based on colleges and stuff, and you can kind of do Road to Glory and stuff like that. But the royalties, to your point, Rock, does that mean, let's say, people play more Caleb Williams or more of those popular guys instead of the Ohio or Kansas State quarterback? Because no one wants to play a Kansas State quarterback.
Will Howard, I would agree on that.
See, Will Howard led them to the Big 12 championship last year, so that might change.
But you got to think about it. Some of these players aren't going to make the pros, right? So this at least gives these kids the opportunity to make
some money,
some earnings, right?
Yeah, sure.
But most of these games, the earnings are the royalties, not just about how many it plays, but how long these games are selling. So say if the 2024 is a hot game and it continues to grow, people want to buy it. Well, every time that game gets sold, someone needs to get a royalty. Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to get a penny, a dime, a quarter, whatever it may be.
I think you might want to incorporate some of the attorneys in Hollywood with royalties and that kind of.
Yeah, as long as the game is being sold, the kids are going to get paid.
It's going to blow out. A lot of people my generation have been waiting a long time because it's been it's been like 12 years since the last game came out with all this NIL stuff. So a lot of people are going to buy this game.
It's going to be big.
I don't know if from the player's perspective, you have the collectives for each school handle this, or you hire outside attorneys. because I agree with you, like you, Jax. You keep that. I'm going to play Caleb Williams. How many people are going to play Caleb Williams over and over at USC,
Right.
again and again, versus whoever the other maybe Ewers at Texas? I want to play that game over, those two guys at it, and see how well they do. You stop and think about it. Texas, USC, the Ohio States, all those players that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's your
1 minute. 1 minute.
2023, 2024, and this is 5 or 6 years down the road. Hey, I'm going to go back and play Caleb Williams, USC versus the new hot team at ASU in 2028. I'm going to play him versus these guys.
The game doesn't work that way.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just as a crude example, but playing the two top teams from that year over and over again, and you manipulating, the lineup.
I also wonder who's going to be on the cover. Are they going to do someone that's currently in it to pay them more, or are they going to do a former player like maybe like a Joe Burrow or a Tim Tebow if that's too far?
I think they're going to start
away.
doing what we see all the time. They regionalize it.
Yes.
So you'll see in California, it'll be
Caleb Williams.
right?
Yeah.
And then whoever is the star in Alabama and down there.
Right.
I mean, I think Georgia.
Drake
May. I go on and
Carolina.
on.
Yeah.
That's the way you should do it. You have 20 different covers.
Yes.
25 different covers. That's make more money.
I think right now it's just good that this is coming back, but that key for the players and the schools that want that piece of the pie to moving that forward.
But the problem is they're having issues on how to structure the deal, because every video game involves players. They normally send out royalty payments like Madden, NBA 2K. These players get 5 figures every time they get a check.
I'm going to take back what I said about the trades, because now with the transfer portal, you technically could trade. Because of how the transfer portal is going to be in that game, you could possibly, maneuver around it.
Or will there be updates constantly?
Yeah.
Like, could they just update it?
So
like,
your guy
hey, so-and-so just, whatever,
unhappy.
XYZ from Cal is going to USC.
Yeah,
there you go.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the EA Sports thing is going to be big here in the next couple of weeks.
It will.
Not next couple of weeks. I'll say next few months.
Yes.
As we lead into the season, but the way the game works, it's going to say 2024. It always comes out the year before.
Right.
So
the game was supposed to come out this summer too, so it got postponed because of all this controversy. So people are eager and want to play this game.
Craig Fouie, ABC.